Sri Lanka Business TV.
විශ්වනාට මම ඉන්වයිට් කරනවා මේ අපේ බැංකු වලට දීපු ඒ ගැන සමරි එකක් විදියට.
Yes, as informed by Governor, the Monetary Board has approved this kind of concessions for the banking sector, and similar as it is appropriate, it will also be issued for the non-bank financial sector. If we take the banking sector, now the normal moratorium that was ongoing from 2020 beginning ended as at 31st December 2021. Only the tourism sector one was in force, which also ended on 30th June. So starting from 1st of January this year, banks had already started kind of talking to the customers, the normal customers, and kind of restructuring and agreeing on certain payment plans. But with the subsequent changes that happened in the macroeconomic environment and other kind of resultant things that are happening, and also the difficulties in getting their essentials, the borrowers are finding it difficult to continue, even though they would have agreed on certain repayment plans. Now they are finding it difficult. So we also have got continuous requests from certain segments, especially from the SME sector, then also the tourism sector, because 30th June was the deadline. And also tourism sector really started picking up at the beginning of the year, but with these disturbances that there again it started kind of reducing. So because of that, again we considered this, and it was kind of announced as some concessions. So it was a broad, it is going to be a broad guidelines that we are going to issue, unlike the previous time where we are going to say it's going to be for a specific period and a specific scheme. The banks are given the kind of the discretion to discuss with the respective borrowers, taking note of their repayment capacity and also the kind of the viability of their businesses and whatever the kind of underlying purposes for which they have taken the loans and structure. So in doing that, what we have said is to consider at least a kind of a grace period, maybe for capital or capital and interest both, at least for a period of 6 months to start with. And also to see when they have to restructure and agree on a kind of installment, at least to stick it to the amount that they were paying before the COVID started, so that it will be at least a reasonable amount looking at their repayment capacity, the maximum to be there, and extend the period of the loan. That is with regard to the loans that have been performing at the start of the COVID. But the loans that have been non-performing at the start of the COVID, again, they are also, we have said, to try and give some concessions, maybe not to go into the recovery actions that they have already started, give some time with regard to going into litigations, but all that will have to be done in agreement and discussion with the customer, and they have to kind of do it on a case-by-case basis. With regard to paddy millers, loans to the paddy millers, there is a specific concession we have requested, because we know that there are some requirements currently to get the food requirements. So therefore specific requirement again to give some concession and to have agreement to get the funding to the respective banks and do the restructuring. Then on early settlements also we have said if the customers are willing to make some settlements at least by about 30th September, the plans, then to give some waivers on any additional interest and any other additional charges that they are going to start. Then on the additional interest, now normally when a loan is kind of deferred, there is going to be some interest. So with regard to that interest also we have given some guidance to say it should not be more than the standard lending facility rate, which is currently 15.5, and based on that to extend the period. Reporting to the CRIB, even previous times we wanted the CRIB reporting to be done separately on these kind of loans, so that when banks are assessing their customers, they would know these repayment delays are not due to their normal delays, but it's because of the specific situation that is there. So to give that kind of a separate information to do the case-by-case assessment. So those are broadly the guidance that we are going to issue in a short while. We'll be issuing this direction. And we have continuously told the banks that they have to have a discussion and then discuss and agree on these terms and have the one-to-one restructuring of the loans. As I said, something similar will be issued for the non-bank financial sector companies also.
Sri Lanka Business TV.